thank you for being here in support of the brave men and women who keep Frederick County safe. We are all in for another extraordinary experience today as we hear about the selfless and heroic acts of our honorees perform in the line of duty. I'd like to welcome Pastor Jonathan Perks, pastor for the Maryland State Police, for this morning's invocation.
Good morning. Thankfully, I'm used to speaking loud, right? And better yet, you've already eaten, so I can take my time this morning. No, I'm just kidding. Let's have a word of prayer. Father, as we come before you today, we're grateful, Lord, for the beautiful day that you've given to us. We thank you so much for the occasion of being able to celebrate just the brave men and women who have put their lives on line in order to be able to minister and to serve this community. And Father, I know that there's so many more that are not represented here today, but certainly we look to you that you would bless each and every one of them for the efforts that they put in on a daily basis. And Lord, that you would protect them and watch over them and keep them safe in all the things that they do. And Lord, I'm just so grateful that you are such a wonderful God to us. And we pray that you would bless the food that we've already eaten. And Father, bless the rest of this time here as these people are honored, that it would bring honor and glory to you as well. And this we ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you so much, Pastor Perks. I see we have some elected officials in our audience today. I'd like to acknowledge we have County Executive Jan Gardner. County Council President Bud Otis is here. Mayor for the City of Frederick, Michael O'Connor. City Aldermen, Kelly Russell and Roger Wilson. I see Mayor Snoots here too as well. Mr. Mayor. We also have representation from all of Frederick County's public safety departments who will be joining us on stage later. Brunswick Chief of Police, Milt Fresh. Frederick City Chief of Police, Ed Hargis. Frederick County Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Colonel Scott Hopkins. Maryland State Police Sergeant Robert Lance. Department of Fire and Rescue Chief Tom Owens. Division of Animal Control Director Linda Shea. And Department of Emergency Communications Director John Wolfel. Thank you for leading these exceptional men and women. All right, now we're in action. We want to thank today's sponsors whose generous support greatly helps to make the event possible. Our gold sponsors, AstraZeneca, Xerox Complete Document Solutions, Corp OHS, Hankey's Radio, and Paul Davis Restoration. Our silver sponsors are the Audio Video Group, Frederick Brickworks, Frederick County Bank, and Stauffer Funeral Homes. Thank you. And our bronze sponsor, Leidos Biomedical Research. Thank you. Thank you also to all the table sponsors, program advertisers, and to those individuals and organizations who helped sponsor the award recipients, their families, and the other men and women in the public service divisions. Also, without the planning committee, this event would not have come together. A huge thank you to Kelly Beach, Tom Coe, Chief Milt Fresh, Lieutenant Jason Null, Tom Plant, and Corporal Simon Temple. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Also, a big thank you to the volunteers of Brunswick Volunteer Fire Company Carroll Manor Volunteer Fire Company, and Independent Hose Company for another wonderful breakfast this morning. Wasn't that great? And thank you to Fire and Rescue Services Recruit Class 23 for their help with setup yesterday. They did a ton of work for us, so thank you. The interviews you'll see and the taping of today's event are courtesy of Frederick County Video Services, and we really appreciate their help. And last but not least, I'd like to say thank you to the staff of the Frederick County Chamber of Commerce who have spent many months on this project and have made a really special day today with the help of many, many others. So thank you. Before I introduce our MC for the morning, I'd like to invite County Executive Jan Gardner to the stage for a few comments.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to join all of you and to see such a large crowd of people here to recognize and thank our public safety first responders. Today, we have the opportunity to personally say thank you and acknowledge the law enforcement officers, firefighters, paramedics, 911 call takers, our animal control officers, and those who serve us in corrections for their hard work to keep our community safe. Now, one of the fundamental responsibilities of local government here in Frederick County and across our country is to ensure the safety of our citizens. I really appreciate that the Chamber of Commerce recognizes our emergency responders with this event each year. It really is well-deserved. These men and women are our community's heroes. They exhibit dedication and service above self each and every day. Every time a new class of firefighter recruits begins, I go to speak to them, and I tell them that public safety jobs are among the most important that we have in local government. And their jobs are all about serving people. It really is the business of taking care of people. Because people will call when they need help, and they won't just remember the service that's provided to them. They'll think about the care and how they were treated by those first responders. Frederick County is blessed to have so many wonderful men and women, both career and volunteer, who are willing to give their time, their talent, and serve our community. I've seen what people in our Division of Fire and Rescue Services do, and I can tell you it's hard work, it's physically demanding, and it's mentally draining. So the next time you see a police officer, a firefighter, an EMT, a 911 call taker, or an animal control officer, make sure you take a moment and express your appreciation to them for their service. So today, we honor the best in public service, so congratulations to all of those who will be recognized today. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Now it is my honor to introduce our vivacious MC for today, WFRE and WFMD News Director Diana Gibson. Diana works on both morning shows, and her news department has won numerous awards from the Chesapeake Broadcasters Association, including Outstanding News Operation of the Year. After graduating from Middletown High School, Diana attended Frederick Community College and Towson University, majoring in mass communications. She later went back to school and became a broadcast meteorologist. Diana has worked in radio and TV in several different markets, including Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Virginia Beach. She has appeared in several movies and numerous commercials. Diana currently lives in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, with her husband, Jeff, who's a deputy with the Frederick County Sheriff's Office, and children, Lexi and Danny. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Diana Gibson.
Well, I want to say thank you, Elizabeth. She has worked tirelessly on this project, and she started working on this last year after the last one had wrapped up. And I have to say, I'm very honored to be here again with you all today because I feel like I am among greatness. So I want to say thank you so much to all of our first responders. This is the 7th annual Public Safety Awards, and all the honorees today have been carefully selected by an unbiased panel of judges. And we want to thank everybody who submitted the nominations, and an even bigger thank you to all the women and the men who make that selfless sacrifice every day to keep our businesses and our families safe. So can we please give another round of applause to all the first responders. Now, for each award, I'm going to announce the award category, share a little bit about the honoree, and then a short video clip will play. The honoree or honorees are going to make their way onto the stage from the right. They're going to exit to the left. And then you can read some more about these honorees in the program book. And I want to ask that all the honorees, the nominators, and the supervisors please stay around after all the awards are given out so they can take some formal pictures. The first 5 awards are for the Frederick County Sheriff's Office, with the actual first award being for the Civilian Employee of the Year, which honors a non-sworn employee. And if we can go ahead and have the representatives for the Sheriff's Office come on up to the stage. This award is given to someone who promotes a positive image of the department and displays professionalism, superior work, and ethical standards. Our first honoree joined the Sheriff's Office in 2001 and has actually served longer than any other current member of the Criminal Investigation Unit. She is the sex offender coordinator for Frederick County, overseeing over 200 registrants on the county's registry in just 2017 alone. She maintains a positive professional outlook, even though what she manages includes some of the most serious sex offenders in the county.
I originally started at the Sheriff's Office with the intention of being a deputy. And I applied as the Criminal Investigations Secretary, and I slowly got handed off the sex offender registry, and it kind of went from there. We just kind of handle things as they come in, tips from the public, problems with sex offenders, calls from sex offenders. The day can just kind of vary depending on what's happening. I think the best part of my job would be the community notification. The whole idea of the sex offender registry is for public awareness and public notification, and we really strive to keep all of that information up to date, accurate. We hold the sex offenders accountable and make sure that we're providing as much information as we can to the public and up to date information. This would probably be one of the best moments. I think it's an honor to receive this award and be recognized for the hard work that I do with the registry. When I started doing the registry 17 years ago, I had 44 sex offenders. Today I have 213. So we've really had to evolve and take on a lot more responsibility, obviously with the number of sex offenders that I have now. And to be recognized for that hard work and maintaining that registry and the public notification the way we have, I really appreciate it, and I'm very honored.
Congratulations, Brandy Kaiser. The Distinguished Service is given to a deputy who performs an act or a service in a manner above expectations, an action sufficient enough to distinguish the individual above those of a comparable position and responsibility, and must reflect a highly credible accomplishment. With the increase of fire being used as a weapon to harm citizens and first responders, a need arose to help mitigate that risk. So when our next honoree was asked to build something that could reduce the risk and be used with the Sheriff's Office tactical rescue vehicle in a hostile environment involving fire, he took it to full force.
So Lieutenant Packard and Captain Hibbard asked me to look at a item for our Bearcat, which is our tactical response vehicle that the SWAT team uses. They pretty much gave me a YouTube video and some drawings and says, here, go build this. So I took what they gave me and had some friends fabricate it. Other departments in the county helped put it together. We took something that cost a lot of money and built it for a little bit of money. It's a new tool, and the company that we bought the Bearcat from came up with something, and it looks like they came up with something pretty quick. It's a garden hose and a piece of pipe. Ours is a little bit more than that. The item can be used in conjunction with the fire department as a rescue tool in case somebody barricades themselves in their house and catches a house on fire. We can use it to put water through a window, a door, whatever's necessary. We just hook the vehicle up to a fire truck that's far away in a safe area. The tactical vehicle with the SWAT guys can drive up, punch through the window, punch through a door, and then turn the water on and hopefully save the people. So now we have a new tool that we can use to make things better.
Congratulations, Deputy First Class Jason Noblick. Selecting the Deputy of the Year is always difficult since the nominees are all deserving. However, there can only be one for 2017, and this year's honoree just happens to be a master when it comes to battling drug dealers and users. He's described as a highly motivated, effective, and knowledgeable patrol deputy with an outstanding work ethic and dedication to the public that he serves, a model deputy with outstanding cognitive intuition and drive.
I like to start my day by reading reports on what has occurred so far that day or the night before to try and get a feel if there's been any crime trends or anything like that. And I gear my patrol efforts towards that area or towards a specific neighborhood or trying to look for a specific suspect. I do that in order to, try and prevent further calls for service. I like to solve things. So, for instance, I located a stolen vehicle. That made me feel good. We got to return the vehicle to the property owner. I located another stolen vehicle on a different incident, and it happened like 3 hours beforehand where someone's car was stolen from a department store parking lot. So that felt good, calling the victim and letting them know that, hey, I located your car, it's all intact, nothing appears to be dismantled. So I think the best part of my job as a sheriff is to grow with the team that you work with. Obviously, I would like to thank Sergeant Enzer for the nomination. Really appreciate that, it means a lot. And family and my wife for the support that they give me, and obviously Patrol Team 1.
Congratulations, Deputy First Class Brett Welsh. The Sheriff's Office Life-Saving Award is being given to a humble man who said during his interview that he was actually looking for something a little more quieter to do in his second career. So given that fact is his work with a correctional officer, I'm wondering what he did in his first job to make it seem as if a correctional officer was a quiet job. Our honoree has been working with the Sheriff's Office for 14 years when the incident for which he was nominated for occurred. It was a cold and sunny afternoon when he responded to a call about an inmate attempting suicide. With the help of another correctional officer, he was able to prevent that person from ending his life.
got me into corrections. Went down to Winchester Hall and filled out an application because I wanted to look for something easier than construction work. After getting this job, I really enjoy it because it's a lot different. You're not out in the weather. You're working 24/7 if you want to. 1 week we'll work 2 days and then be off 2 days, and we work 3 days. Then we're off 2 days, work 2 days, and then we're off 3 days. It's a good schedule once you get used to it. We take the inmates to different places, visits, different classes, library, church. Well, as a team, we move people around where they have to go. There's 2 people to a post, 2 officers, and we get the inmates moved around to where they have to go at, get their meals fed to them and everything else. Each team is bonded together, work together very well. I really look to Lieutenant Crisp. He's kind of like me. He's been there for a long while. Well, he gives you classes, gives you answers questions for you. Just all around good guy. Well, I'm honored to receive this award, but it was a group act. We were doing our security checks, and I found him. My other partner opened up the door up, and I picked him up, and he took the tie from around his neck. And we called for a code yellow for medical to come up. He's doing fine now. Receiving a life-saving award makes me feel honored and happy.
Congratulations, Correctional Officer First Class Ed Garigula. Today marks the second time that the Gold Medal of Valor has been given out at this award ceremony over the past 7 years. Now, this award is presented to an individual who demonstrates valor in the face of extreme danger. The awardee triumphs in spite of great personal risk and executed measures not normally required to save human life. Now, many details from the incident are in the program book. What it doesn't tell you is that our honoree was only on the job for 1.5 years as a deputy sheriff when it happened. It doesn't tell you that the deputy drew her sidearm to protect herself, the mother of the suspect who was screaming, and lunged at her in an attempt to stop her from doing so.
I was in Urbana when we got a call. The woman said that her son was reacting, I think, to medication. On the way to the location, I was informed that the mom wanted no police response. And she also wanted no lights and sirens. She thought the situation would become worse. Our policy is someone calls 911, even if they say there's no emergency, we go out and we make sure that there's no emergency. All the lights were off. Which is not typical. I asked if I could come in and talk to her son, and she kind of nodded her head and opened the door to me, so I walked in, and he was upset about me coming inside, but I tried to build a rapport with him. She told me that he was trying to get into physical therapy. My younger brother is a physical therapist. I thought, perfect, I have an in. I'm gonna go talk to this guy about physical therapy. In the course of me trying to build a rapport with him, he came at me with a knife, and I defended myself. Then began rendering aid to him, and Deputy Eiler came in, and he helped me render him aid, and then EMS came in. And I think that anyone under the circumstances, under the training that I received in the same profession, would have done exactly the same thing that I did. We all should be recognized for everything we do.
Congratulations, Deputy First Class Samantha Folan. We are now going to present the awards for the Maryland State Police Frederick Barrick B. The Life Saving Award honors an individual whose actions attempted to save or succeed in saving a human life. Recipients demonstrate a strong knowledge of the medical and rescue efforts, quick action, and a commitment to service on and off duty. This honoree, who's a part of the Walkersville Resident Trooper Program, saved the same life 2 days in a row. When the chamber received this nomination, they usually read like the incident report. Well, it's not until the interview that the honorees get to learn the details and see the passion, caring, and sometimes the frustration that they have for their different aspects of their job. The frustration in particular with this incident comes from not being able to do more for the patient of an addicted son, or for the parents of the addicted son.
On December 2nd, I was on routine patrol on day shift. It was probably around noon, and a call came out for unconscious overdose. I was there within the 30 seconds to a minute. Went upstairs to find the male unconscious, not breathing. Immediately administered Narcan to him and began performing CPR on him. Continued CPR for about 2 minutes to 3 minutes until he started breathing again and taking large gasps for air that he was coming back to life. I had his mom give rescue breaths since she was there, since we had 2 people, since EMS wasn't there at the time. He eventually got back to breathing and woke up and was taken to the hospital. So on December 3rd, which is the Sunday about the same time, noon, we get a call again for the same house for overdose, that he'd been released from the hospital the night prior because there's nothing that was keeping him there. Luckily, the day before, I took my Narcan from my sergeant since he was off, just so I could have something just in case something happened again. And like I said, the same call came out and went right back to the house, unconscious this time. He was very, very blue, not breathing, looked worse than he did the day before. I didn't think he was going to come back. Administered Narcan again and started CPR right away. With his mom there, it was like deja vu, almost like I was just doing it over again, and did CPR this time for about 2 or 3 minutes again, and then luckily he took that big gasp of air and he came back to life.
Congratulations, Trooper Matthew Bond. The last award for MSP's Officer of the Year, and this year's nominee has so much under his duty belt that we could barely fit it into the program book. Here are some of the highlights. He was first in the Western Troop among corporals and sergeants with 1,005 traffic stops, 525 citations, 471 warnings, 113 safety equipment repair orders, 14 incident reports, and 25 code 89s. He was second among the Frederick Barrick corporals and sergeants with 15 accident reports with 10 resulting in charges, 2 DUIs, 12 criminal investigation reports, 6 warrant arrests, 4 civilian citations, 61 patrol checks, and 498 ARIs. He's also a part of the underwater recovery team, a firearms instructor, and is on the Maryland State Police pistol team. One particular fact that other troopers probably really liked about him is during 2017, he was in charge of grant funding totaling over $49,000. By allocating overtime opportunities, by tracking spending, he successfully managed these funds and provided fiscal support to barrack troopers. And I can't forget to mention that this is the second Trooper of the Year award that he has received at the Public Safety Awards.
I've been a trooper with the state police for about 7.5 years. An average day for me, what would it be? Every day is a little bit different. As a corporal, I'm kind of multifunction between being a patrol supervisor at the barrack, managing the shift, and then also on the road, responding to calls with other troopers, making sure that they're handling it appropriately. And I can also get into some enforcement myself, which I enjoy doing. I like the variety. There's a lot of things I get to do, whether it be working patrol at a barrack. I do the underwater recovery team, which is scuba diving for evidence recovery around the state, all across the state, to support both MSP cases and allied agencies across the state, and also firearm destruction. So I help out with teaching at the Academy for firearms and also for the annual day fire and night fire qualifications for the Western region. Being selected for Officer of the Year, especially by a community organization like the Frederick Chamber, is a great honor, especially since I grew up in Frederick County, lived here before, and I've worked at Frederick Barrack actually for my entire career with the state police, 7.5 years. So my whole time here has been spent in Frederick County. So it's definitely appreciated to be represented, to be nominated by the community and selected for an award like that.
Congratulations, Adam Mathai. Frederick County's Animal Control Officer of the Year is up next. Now, this award is given to the officer who exemplifies outstanding service, initiative, leadership, and meritorious action. Our first honoree is someone who exhibits high-quality leadership, excellent communication and investigative skills, true professionalism, and exceptionally well-versed in local and state legislation on animal control topics. It's not solely for caring that he showed Little Minnie, but his commitment to safety for all animals and the community that he's deserving of this award.
Best part of the job, that would be everything. Not much of a bad day. I mean, you get to see the whole county, deal with people, deal with animals. No bad thing. But yeah, we've dealt with just about every kind of animal that you can think of, from wildlife to domestic to everything. We're a complaint-driven department, so an average day would be basically we get a call to respond to either picking up strays, responding to cruelty investigations. Stood out more than others, probably a 3 o'clock in the morning call to respond to Thurmont for 2 camels walking down the road. Startled a lot of the neighborhood. It was fun trying to put them back in. Mentors, that's just about everybody I run into in my job. You know, dealing with either kennel techs, volunteers, new officers, old officers, you're always learning something new. Minnie was dropped off at our department as a stray, severely emaciated, very, very poor health. It turned out that the person who dropped her off was actually the original owner under false pretenses. A little bit of investigating and everything, we were able to track them down into another county. We were able to charge with animal cruelty. Treat your animals like they're your family. They're not property, they're family.
Congratulations, Animal Control Officer Rob Uttermolen. And if you're wondering what happened to the dog in this story, Minnie was adopted by a loving human family and now has other canine siblings. Our next award is for the Brunswick Police Department's Officer of the Year. After he retired from the Frederick County Sheriff's Office, our next honoree took the retirement job and he started to work for the Brunswick Police Department. And he quickly became the department's Good Samaritan. By the definition, Samaritan means a person who is generous in helping those in distress. And it should have a photo next to that definition with our honoree. From buying Christmas presents for a family who had been the victim of a theft to recovering money for an elderly victim of a telephone scam, it is his dedication to the well-being of the citizens of his hometown that make us proud to recognize this officer.
An average day in Brunswick, coming to work, checking in with Chief Fretch, great guy, Captain Brown, another great guy. Sometimes it's not just a routine day. We do have our days down there where have some robberies right across the bridge. In Virginia, it's a little gas and go. They end up showing up in Brunswick, meeting people. That's probably the best part of my job. I like to talk, I like to be out there and interact with people. There's been many memorable moments, pulling two people from a burning vehicle that crashed out off of Chestnut Grove Road, and then to meet he was a senior at Lincoln High School a year later after all the surgeries and stuff, and he was told he would probably never walk again or run cross country, and to meet him at that award banquet at the sheriff's office, and he actually walked up and handed me the award. Again, it's just not about me. It takes a team, and the Brunswick Police Department, glad to be back home. Great place to work, great people, and a great bunch of officers. So I couldn't ask for anything better to finish out my career.
Congratulations, Officer Gary Klein. The next awards are for the Frederick City Police Department. The Leadership Award is given to someone who demonstrates highly effective action towards achieving positive change as he or she strives to improve their department. The recipient of this award wears several hats, including one for being lead instructor at the Frederick Police Department's entry-level police academy. Many student officers are in their early 20s and have had minimal life experience outside of the traditional schooling, and the shock of a paramilitary environment can be overwhelming for some students. Well, this officer goes above and beyond to assist in building the confidence of those who are struggling. He gives advice and guidance to build strength and confidence, which often leads to an increased dedication for those students. This example may seem relatively minor, but it shows that this is more than just a job for our honoree, who possesses the compassion and dedication to support the up-and-coming officers in the field.
I joined the Marine Corps after high school. I was in the infantry in the Marine Corps, and I got out and I was looking for a job that would allow me to work independently, if that makes sense. I like the idea of law enforcement. I like the idea of being able to help people but still work independently without sitting at a desk somewhere and just kind of rotting away at a desk. To start preparing for the day, we look over what classes need to be taught, if guest instructors are coming in, we verify with them that they're going to make it in. For me, the best part of the job is I like the idea that I can help the new recruits transition easier into their actual job. The academy's pretty extensive, and there's a lot for them to take in and remember. And so this is our opportunity to get them prepared for when they go out for their field training. And I like the idea that I'm helping them do that. For me, as long as they can think back and say, hey, listen, he steered me in the right direction. He helped me in my career at some point. That's pretty much what I'm looking for.
Congratulations, Officer First Class Greg Santangelo. Now, I was told that the story behind the incident for the Frederick City Police Life Saving Award had the staff interviewing this honoree on the edge of their seats. So I'm going to let the officer tell you the story in his own words.
On May 25th, 2017, I saw two women dressed pretty nice. They didn't appear to be in distress. They were actually crossing Fish Hatchery Road, and I looked at them. We made eye contact. They didn't flag me down, so I kept going. I might get another 2 miles down the road, and I hear state police put out a vehicle left the roadway at Fish Hatchery Road, and the vehicle's overturned down in the embankment, and water's rushing into it. So I activate my emergency equipment, do a U-turn, head back to the scene. At that point, the two women I saw earlier are now in a panic. I look down over the guardrail. It's about 15 feet down, and the car is upside down and water is rushing into the passenger compartment. The only thing I could see was the bottom of the car and the wheels. So I notified my dispatch that I was dropping all my gear, my vest, radio, so I had no communication. I just went in. The whole time I'm trying to reassure the lady in the car that everything's gonna be okay, I'm here to help her. But she was straight panicking, very confused what was going on. I don't know how it happened, but I got the car door open and I braced myself on the car door, pulled her out of the car. At that point, a civilian shows up, and to this day, I still don't know who he is. He told me he was an off-duty EMT, and he came down and assisted me with getting her out of the vehicle. She told me that there was another guy in the car, but nobody else in the car. So I told the civilian to take her up to the road. She didn't appear to have any injuries. She was able to walk. So he assisted her back up to the roadway as I went to get the guy out of the car. But because I dropped all my equipment, I didn't have my knife on me. And he was still in his seatbelt hanging upside down with his face in the water. So I yelled back up to him. He actually had a knife on him. So he threw me his knife. I was able to cut the seatbelt off, get the gentleman out of the vehicle. We tried to get him up to the roadway to perform CPR, so it's a flat, hard surface rather than doing it right there on the embankment. But we just kept falling and slipping on all the mud and broken branches. So we started doing CPR on the gentleman there on the embankment, and it felt like forever for EMS to actually arrive on scene. And once they did, they took over life-saving efforts. We were able to assist them with getting the gentleman up to the roadway, and they started working him there. I've been doing this job for 10 years, a little bit before 10 years at that time, and nothing has ever really affected me as this incident has. I'm very proud to serve this community.
Amazing. For your heroic efforts, congratulations, Officer James Dodson. The next three awards are within the Frederick County Division of Emergency Communications. The Meritorious Award recognizes sustained exemplary performance by an individual both within and outside the scope of their normally assigned responsibilities. This includes call taking, dispatching, quality assurance, training, and all facets of the 911 call center. This particular honoree exemplifies a level of commitment that could be serving as a model for others. He clearly recognizes the impact that the 911 Center has on people's lives and has an aggressive philosophy of giving back to the center and the community by giving generously of his time as a volunteer EMT firefighter for the Vigil and Hose Company in Emmitsburg. He serves as part of the public outreach program to educate Frederick County community residents about 911, and he recently received a national certification as a communications training officer and maintains an overall protocol compliance score of 99.5, which is the highest in the 911 Center.
I've been involved with the fire service in Frederick County since I was a student at Mount St. Mary's. The opportunity to give back to citizens and visitors and the draw of the 911 Center is what brought me to emergency communications here in Frederick County. I remain active with the Vigilant Hose Company in Emmitsburg. I currently serve as the Assistant Secretary on the executive board there and have been involved there for just shy of 10 years now. I also do participate in numerous job fairs throughout the region, going to different job fair events, college events, high school events, reaching out to those who are interested in a job in public safety. I try to explain what our job is, what we do every day, and try to find qualified applicants to apply for our job. There is no such thing as an average day whatsoever in the 911 Center. The morning can start with vehicle accidents. The next thing you're dealing with a house fire or helping a mother deliver a baby, back to just a lull in activity. It's truly no such thing as an average day. There's always something that's happening. I would say the best part has been able to truly give back to citizens, visitors, and the professional personnel in the county, fire service, law enforcement throughout the county, and being able to help them and know that they're accomplishing a job is truly the best feedback that I can get.
Specialist 2, Tom Ward. The Leadership Award recognizes an individual who demonstrates the highest level of personal and professional conduct and performance in daily operations of the 911 Center. Our next honoree has risen through the ranks, becoming a shift manager in October of 2013, and was elected president of the Maryland State Emergency Number Association in 2016. In a 911 center, the heightened phone calls and radio messages are repetitive, and the callers are often upset or hostile. Through his leadership, each of his team members assigned to his shift are extremely polite, and they provide service to each caller that they need in an immediate manner. His lead by example and his calm, competitive demeanor sets the tone for the entire team. He patiently guides and encourages his staff to acquire the knowledge and character needed to achieve the division's goals, which are make connections, solve problems, work together, and be nice.
I was a volunteer firefighter EMT right out of high school. Wanted to get into the public safety field, and a friend of mine happened to be working for my county that I lived in, and got me into the business, and that's how I started. An average day for me now, being assigned to the Training and Quality Assurance Office, is I'm primarily in charge of training, approving people that put in training requests to go to out-of-county training. I help do FOIA requests, and then just the teamwork that you see all the agencies come together when it's needed and work together to solve a situation or help somebody that's in need. I think that's the biggest positive about the job, is just helping people. My style of leadership is normally calm and reserved, but yet this is what I expect, this is what you need to do. Every now and then that a little bit more aggressive comes out, just based on maybe the situation or like the urgency. When someone's life is on the line, and there's an emergency, you know, sometimes you have to assert yourself and be a little bit more direct and, you know, get something done. And that's just how it is on the 911 operations floor.
Congratulations, Barry Williams. The last award for the emergency communications will go to the Outstanding Telecommunicator of the Year, recognizing an individual who demonstrates the highest level of performance while on the front line of call taking, dispatching and/or supervising, and demonstrating professional conduct at all times. This honoree not only is an emergency communications specialist, but also a CPR instructor and administrator of the department's CPR classes. But what makes her stand out is her ability to always place the callers first, no matter what the circumstances. In the 911 environment, the work of a great telecommunicator goes unrecognized or underappreciated. This honoree's compassion and work ethic is what makes her deserving of this year's award.
I got into telecommunications because I've been with the volunteer fire service for 27 years, so I guess it was just the next line of travel to go. The best moments of the career are, I guess, when people, you find out what the end result is. So, like if someone writes in and our director, John, he'll usually tell us, or, hey, someone wrote in about you. That's really great. You find out what the end was, and you find out that you're really touching people and you're helping them. We usually get the calls when people are having their worst day, their worst moment. You know, I get the 911 call, this hysterical mother on the other end. I can barely understand what she's trying to tell me. And I try to get them calmed down. And with her, I was able to get her calmed down very quickly. And during our conversation, she's like, oh, me and my husband, we were both EMTs, we're both in the medical field. And she goes, I'm just freaking out right now. That's okay. You know, I would be doing this too if it were my son. I was talking with the child, and the child was such a help, like relaying information. Hey, Mom, she said do this, or hey, Mom, are you doing this? This kind of thing. It was neat. I like doing those kind of things. I guess winning this award, I'm shocked, especially that my director and coworkers have nominated me for this. But it's an honor. It's a true honor. It means that I'm affecting people. I think I found my niche.
Congratulations, Emergency Communications Specialist 2, Lisa Lanham. We are now going to recognize the Division of Fire and Rescue Services for Frederick County. The Distinguished Service Award, which is being given to someone who has distinguished themselves from all others of their rank or position, performed above expectation, demonstrated responsibility, and had credible accomplishments during their career. Well, having been involved with fire and rescue since he was 16 years old, this honoree has had an exceptional career as a firefighter, EMT, dispatcher in the original Emergency Communications Center, the co-founder of the Fire and Rescue Museum in Emmitsburg, and an author of 2 books on the history of firefighting in both Frederick City and Frederick County.
I was actually with Frederick County my last go-round since 2003. Initially started with Frederick County in 1972 as a dispatcher. Also worked part-time as a part-time firefighter. So I have a total of 24 years with Frederick County government. For whatever reason, really wanted to be in the fire service. My father wasn't, because a lot of times, particularly in the 70s, was a lot of a legacy volunteer. A person was the father and the grandfather and such. But my family was never involved in the fire service, but we did grow up live on South Market Street, so I was very close to the United Fire Company. Really the best part of the job is working with people. I'm a people person. I enjoy working with the volunteer fire service. I enjoy working with the public. But I've been involved in many of the major fires in Frederick over the last 40 years, either dispatching them in some cases or actually being on the scene. When I first found out, quite honestly, I was shocked and very honored. There's a tremendous amount of people in Frederick County Fire Rescue Service that are very deserving of it. You know, I have almost 50 years in, but there's a lot of people in Frederick County that have 50 or more years in. You know, there are a lot of tremendously dedicated members of the Volunteer Fire Rescue Service and our fire service in general in Frederick County. So to be one picked out and such an honor, it truly is humbling.
For his lifelong dedication, this award goes to an exemplary individual and a true gentleman. Retired Deputy Chief Chip Jewell. The DFRS Supervisor of the Year had multiple nomination submissions, and after reading them, the review panel understood what an extraordinary person he must be. So here are some of the things that they wrote about him. His leadership and concern can be seen in his employees like a reflection in a still pond. They flock to him and cover him like they were his children. This is one of the biggest testaments to the leadership that I can think of. He attempts to instill in his employees a sense of pride and tradition. He expects his employees to work hard and to do things the right way. Many supervisors wouldn't take the time or expend the efforts to impart the importance of the basics of their job. He spends his time and efforts willingly and freely to teach his employees every day. With almost 20 years of service at the rank of lieutenant, his efforts and successes go above and beyond what most supervisors accomplish.
I'm assigned to Independent Host Company, which is Station 1. On the average, anywhere between 15 to 20 EMS responses and 5 to 10 fire responses. The best part of my job is the people I work with and the people that we serve in the community. Being selected as Supervisor of the Year, obviously I'm humbled by that award. There's been a number of supervisors that have received that award prior to me. I think it's a great honor, and I couldn't have did it without the people that I work with every day. There's a number of people that I'd like to thank for this award. Obviously first, my wife, Teresa. I couldn't do it without her. My family for allowing me to work both on and off duty. My parents. So I wouldn't be here without them and the support that they've provided. And the people surround me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week when we come to work.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Eric Jacobs. The Life Saving Award within the DFRS is given to individuals directly responsible for for the saving of a human life and whose actions, skills, and knowledge in the application of the pre-hospital emergency medical care are vital to saving a life. There were multiple nominees directly responsible for the survival of a cardiac arrest patient. Because of their extensive training, rapid decision-making skills under pressure, and close proximity to the patient when it occurred, these are the reasons for the patient's survival.
It started, my son wanted to go see Guardians of the Galaxy. I said, pick a time, boy. And the movie comes on. 5 minutes into it, one of the attendants at the movie theater, come in asking for help. I go into theater 2 and see that the patient is in cardiac arrest.
We responded as a first responder because our ambulance was out on another call, so we responded with the engine company.
I asked the lady who was trying to do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on him to stop because we can't perform CPR in a narrow walkway of the movie theater, and the other gentlemen that were there helped get him down the stairs, so we get him down the stairs and start CPR on him.
We arrived with 3 personnel, and there was already 3 or 4 personnel on scene performing CPR on a patient. We began ALS interventions as quick as they could. He assisted with that while the rest of us continued the high-performance CPR with the assistance of the people that were already there. He finally came back, held a pulse, and I think we did compressions for about 15 to 20 minutes in the movie theater before we transported him to FMH.
Everybody was there perfectly at the right time, at the right place to help him.
And we want to say thank you to a lot of people for saving that man's life. Firefighter EMT Stacy Lakin, Captain Tyler Conway, from United Steam Engine Fire Company, Station 3, Ambulance 38, Firefighter EMT Michael Hayden, Firefighter EMT Kaylin Ikes, Firefighter EMT Jake Patterson, from the Westview Fire Company 31, Engine 311 B Shift, Lieutenant James Fisher, Firefighter Paramedic Jeremy Weaver, Firefighter Paramedic Edward Wood, from the Frederick County Advanced Life Support Medic 1, EMS 901, Firefighter Paramedic Katrina Garr, Lieutenant Scott Gordon.
What?
Read the script. Oh, I'm sorry. Before you leave the stage, there are 2 people we'd like to meet again, Eric and Kathy Hansen. Would you please join us on stage? The Outstanding Citizen Award recognizes the effort by individuals to rescue another or save another's life. Our next honorees were simply going about their day when they heard people yelling for help. As they went to find out where the yells were coming from, they noticed 2 women on a roof of a porch at a home just across the street. that was too high for them to jump without hurting themselves. Well, one of the honorees grabbed a ladder, rushed across the street, but the ladder was too short, so he went back to retrieve a longer ladder, all while thick white smoke was billowing through the windows. As he placed the ladder against the porch roof, our two other honorees rushed in to help bring the ladies down to safety and escort them across the street. Within minutes after the rescue, the roof they were standing on caught fire. Nominated by Nikki Burris for being in the right place at the right time, their quick thinking and selfless actions were awarded the Outstanding Citizen Award to Mike Smith, Chuck Renner, and Greg Ridinger. The Volunteer Firefighter of the Year award is given to a volunteer firefighter of any rank who is nominated by his or her coworkers as most deserving. This year's award goes to an individual who has exceeded expectations just in the few short years as a member. To expand his operational knowledge, our honoree completed several firefighting and EMS training classes during 2017, totaling 225 hours. Many hours were spent at the station maintaining several station computers, as well as the network system and dispatch notification software, as well as jumping in when needed to execute successful fundraising events. He received the Member of the Year award from the Vigilant Hose Company, which is given to someone who demonstrates exceptional administrative and operational support over the previous 12 months, which is one of the highest awards that can be bestowed upon a VHC member. During 2017, Dave responded to 117 incidents in Frederick County, the northern western Carroll County regions, and southern Pennsylvania. This earned him an award for being one of the top 5 responders for VHC. His dedication and commitment make him one of the most respected individuals among his peers, as an example for junior members to follow.
What drew me into the fire rescue service is have a lot of family that are public servants, from police to fire and rescue, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, but in middle school I found out I had a hearing problem, so I always thought that I couldn't do it. Then one day, walking through the Frederick Fair, they had the Gear Up tent, and I figured, let me just stop in and ask a question, and said, hey, if I wear hearing aids, is that going to prevent me from being a volunteer? And they said no, so here I am. The best part of the job is the people. If you don't like people, it's not for you. You create a camaraderie and a brotherhood within the fire service, and that doesn't just mean your immediate station. You have your surrounding stations and communities, because we all take training together. If you were to ask the guys at the firehouse what it's like to work with me, hopefully they'll say it's fun. I think they'll say that I'm a driven individual, very passionate about the job. So winning the Volunteer Firefighter of the Year award is just, quite frankly, it's surreal. If you would have asked me 3 years ago I'd be sitting here, I would say no. But I think that once you find a passion that, I guess, is a passion, once you find that, the hard work just doesn't seem like hard work. It just comes natural.
Congratulations, volunteer firefighter Dave Zen. We honor next the Medic of the Year. Now, this award is given to a career or volunteer paramedic or integrated firefighter paramedic. This year's nominee was a key player in the national accreditation process for Frederick County Advanced Life Support Educational Program, which allows emergency medical service professionals to teach the paramedic curriculum. And this process took 5 years to complete.
I got into the line of work through high school. It's where it started. I took a paramedic biology class in 12th grade, and it sparked my interest. So I began volunteering where I went to school at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and they happened to have an emergency health services program, and that's when it all started. Most recently, the biggest impacting moment of my career has been I most recently taught an EMT class. Had the students graduate, and being able to instill my knowledge into them and watch the light bulbs turn on. I think that was the biggest impactful moment in my career. Receiving the Paramedic of the Year award has made me feel grateful that this is the line of work that I chose to do and have been able to follow for so long. It shouldn't just be one person. I think that being a paramedic or an EMT or a firefighter, generally working for the division or fire rescue services, needs to be recognized as a whole. It's a tough job. I think we're supported, and I think that's huge. We're able to do our job better and just be able to serve the citizens of Frederick County.
For giving Frederick County Fire and Rescue Services the best opportunity to provide quality education to future paramedics. Congratulations, Firefighter Paramedic 3, Margaret Novacek, on receiving the Medic of the Year award. Next is the Probationary Firefighter of the Year, given to a probationary career or volunteer firefighter who continually demonstrates readiness, performance, and excellence in the duties they perform during their probationary period. Displaying maturity, leadership potential, and vital skills while making significant contributions to advancing and enhancing the goals of the Division of Fire and Rescue Services. Nominations were given for confidence shown above the quality in his work, for displaying leadership potential that far exceeds what is required of a probationary firefighter, and for being the example what all probationary firefighters should strive to be.
I always had family members in the fire service that were volunteers, and I wanted to be the first one to make it my career. So a normal day for me as a rookie, you're kind of the low man on the totem pole, so I get there first every morning. There's one other rookie from a class after me on my shift, so we both get there around 4:30 in the morning before everybody else is there or the other shift has gotten up yet. First thing, you got to get the coffee on. That's the most important thing. And then we have a whole routine every single day. You know, we do apparatus checks, check the equipment that we're riding for that day. And then we start cleaning. There's a whole list of daily, weekly, monthly cleaning, chores that we do. I remember when I was brand new, before the other rookie was there to help out, I was trying to finish all the chores for the day, but I was still running calls, so I was mopping the floor at 3 o'clock in the morning to get it done before the next shift came in. So I like the adrenaline of going. I mean, obviously the most exciting part of our job is going to fires and everything, but the biggest part of our job is doing EMS. Actually going into Station 1 on B shift, I had heard before I got there, it was actually one of the most senior shifts in Frederick County. So I heard some things that I was going to have a tough time there, but I think I did a good job adapting and working well with the guys and getting a good working relationship, and it's been a great year so far.
Congratulations, Probationary Firefighter 1, Ben Eddowes. Well, we are now down to the final two awards. The Career Firefighter of the Year goes to someone who also received the Probationary Firefighter of the Year award in 2015. He continues to demonstrate selfless dedication to the Division of Fire and Rescue Services and the community in multiple additional advanced capacities that include being a nationally registered licensed paramedic and fire engine driver, on top of being a firefighter EMT. On his own time, this honoree took extra training to become a highly skilled and proficient, and giving his station commanders the opportunity to use him in multiple roles. In 2017, he volunteered to be the field training officer for not just one, which is the norm, but for 2 probationary rookie firefighters. And with his steadfast mentorship, both of these rookies are ahead of their peer group in knowledge and ability.
My name is Nathan Twig. I'm a firefighter paramedic with the Division of Fire Rescue Services. My grandfather was a volunteer captain, and when I was 13, I was burned. And the conglomeration of all them people made me want to do this. The best part of my job is getting to work and hanging out with the guys and helping people. The mentors that's helped me along the way is Technician Stansberry. When I first was a rookie, he helped me get through a lot of my probationary period. And then Technician Wilderson helped me get through my driving status. And at the time, Fire Medic Steele helped me get through designate status. Winning Probationary Firefighter of the Year inspired me to help the new probationary firefighters along the way. I was a mentor because everybody else in the shift had other tasks. So she's the lady that was my captain, Captain Reinhardt at the time, assigned me mentorship of the rookie, and I kind of just help him along. And so when I mentor him, I just make sure that he completes all of his probationary status on time, and that he understands the way we function. I guess being selected Career Firefighter of the Year means that I've came to work and done my job well, and that's been noticed.
And for distinguishing yourself through your superior technical knowledge of all aspects of the public safety profession and your dedication to duty, we are honored to bestow the Career Firefighter of the Year award to Firefighter Paramedic 2, Nathan Twig. The final Fire and Rescue Services Award is for the Gold Medal of Bravery. Now, as we heard earlier, this award is presented to an individual who demonstrates valor in the face of extreme danger. This awardee triumphs in spite of great personal risk and execute measures that are normally not required or that are required to save a human life. Our honoree will tell this story in the video, but what you won't hear from him is that the protective hose stream was being overpowered by fire and burning through his gear. But this firefighter never wavered and controlled the fire to protect others performing search operations. Once they confirmed no one was trapped, he didn't back out of the house. He advanced his hose line along with another crew member, and a second line was brought in to extinguish the fire. Because of this, he sustained second and third degree burns to his right hand and second degree burns to his forehead and ears. There were multiple submissions that were received for this firefighter. One statement stood out, and we want to read it to you right now. I am unsure of how to relay to this committee how much bravery and courage it takes to hold your ground when you know you're losing control of a fire, but you must hold to protect both possibly trapped citizens and those fellow firefighters searching for them. Firefighter Eddowes is a firefighter I would work with and trust in any situation. As he showed in this instant, the intestinal fortitude to stand tall even while crawling below the highest heat levels. Thankfully, the occupants of the townhouse had already escaped, but if they had not, I'm confident having Firefighter Eddowes as part of their crew coming to the rescue, they couldn't have asked for anyone better.
So on the morning of Saturday, November 25th, Station 1 was, going about the normal day. We were at the gym, we were on our way back, we stopped at the grocery store to get our meals for the day. And while we were in the grocery store on Yellow Springs Road, they dispatched a townhouse fire across the street from Station 1. We pulled up on scene, and we had fire showing from both windows on the second floor of middle of the group townhouse. While I was knocking the fire, I felt my hand getting really hot, and I felt like I knew I was getting burned. I've been burned before, and I knew the feeling. And at that point, my lieutenant was still searching the rooms. So if I would have backed up down the hallway and started to go out because I was burning, the fire would have cut him off. When we pulled up on that fire and I saw the fire blowing out the windows, and at that point we thought there was people up there. That's what it's like. It's game day. It's on. Like there's no backing out of that. Once you get in there, it's like you better do everything that you've learned and trained on for the last however many years you've been in the fire service, because this is where it all counts.
Congratulations, Firefighter 1, Ben Eddowes. Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Diana Gibson, for doing a great job telling us these stories. Today we witnessed some powerful acts of ethics and courage. I hope all of you have gained a renewed sense of gratitude for all of Frederick County's emergency responders. They're truly inspiring men and women, and I would like to add, so are their parents and their children and their spouses. To all honorees and division heads, please come back to the stage for a group photo before you leave. Thank you again for coming and supporting our community heroes this morning, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.